Jeff, I'm filming a video! Oh my god. Hey guys, so I don't even know where to start. Let's just start out saying it's been a minute since I've been on YouTube. It hasn't been like one of my priorities. I'd say I've kind of lost my interest for YouTube. Not in a bad way, I've just had other things going on. But I came here because I need to get this off my chest, and it's something very scary to me. It's something that's personally happened many times, and I feel like it needs to be shared. I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about this. So you guys are probably thinking this is really dumb, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say, this is not clickbait. My house is haunted. I'm going to be sharing you many experiences I've had in my house. And if you guys think she's lying, she's probably just imagining stuff, Parker, it's fine. Honestly, I'd like to say that too. I genuinely wish I could say it's fine. But guys, I'm shook to the core.
I am shooketh.
This is intense stuff. And there's just so much stuff that adds up continuously. And I'm just gonna tell you right now, get your popcorn, find a comfy spot, because it's gonna be a long video. I don't want to make this intro too long because that can be really annoying. But I'm just going to tell you before we start this that it's going to be pretty intense. If you don't like paranormal stuff, you can click off. If you do, continue watching because this is what you are here for. So anyways, guys, just to kick off the story, ever since I can remember, since kindergarten, I've had paranormal experiences in my house. Now, my house, let me just start out by saying I've never, ever felt I've definitely felt uncomfortable in my house, especially after all these experiences that have happened, but I've never, ever felt, threatened or harmed, I'm going to be harmed in some way. So that's something I can say before this. I've never felt in danger. That's a good way to put it. Never, felt in danger in my house. But I've definitely felt something, and I can't describe it. I don't know how the right way to describe it. I felt something in my house, and you guys are probably you're crazy, you're delusional, but honestly, I'm just going to give it to you straight up. I know my house is haunted. People who have been in my house, most of you probably have never been in my house, but if you have, you know, especially a lot of my close friends know that they've felt a presence in my house too, and they know what I'm talking about, and they might not believe it's haunted, but they know something's going on because something is. So I have my handy dandy phone here with my notes of what I'm going to say because there is a lot. There's a lot of stuff. Honestly, I don't really know where to start. So we're just going to kick it off with the history of my house. Okay. There's a lot of history, and that's probably why I think it's haunted. So my house is in historical Upper Arlington, Ohio. So it's in Upper Arlington, Ohio. It's a very old community. It has lots of history. It's 100 years old. It's not ancient, but it's pretty old enough to have some creepy things going on. So let's just say that. So that's where I'm located, Upper Arlington. So my house is not, honestly, this is why it's kind of weird. This is one thing that's kind of throwing me off is my house is not that old. It was built in 1947. It's just normal house. There's nothing peculiar or something that is odd about it on the outside, but I don't know why this would happen in my house specifically, but I do have some reasons. So yes, my house was built in 1947. It's not that old. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just say that my mom someone told her that an older lady lived here in my house, probably I'd say in the 50s or 60s, somewhere in the time. It was a long time ago, but a little after the house was made, a lady lived here who had Parkinson's, and she died in my house. So that's why I feel sorry guys, you can hear my brother in the back, but that's why I feel that's contributing to my haunted house. All right, so that's just a starter. So a lady actually physically died in my house. So that obviously is gonna lead to it being haunted. All right, another thing that this is probably the biggest thing that connects to a lot of stuff. So there was a grocery chain called Big Bear, and it was owned by, I don't know his name, but he lived in my house. The grocery owner, it's not in business anymore, but it was like established in the 40s when my house was built, and it was just this big grocery chain called Big Bear, and the owner actually did live in my house. And this is like one of the most active rooms in my house. He had an office in the room over the garage is what we called it. So I'm getting like creeped out talking about this, but like my room is right next to the room over the garage, we call it, because it doesn't have air conditioning, and it's like a small little room. There's nothing like really creepy about it. It's just unsettling. So his office was in that room, and we're gonna get to this part later, but that room is where it connects to my room, and there's this door that just opens and closes by itself, but we'll get to that in a second. So anyways, that's where his office was, and then in my basement, where we have a closet, and we just have like regular like wooden panels in the back of the closet, and if there's a little spot where you can pull it, and there's a huge safe in there where we believe he kept his money, because he was obviously really rich because he had this huge chain of grocery stores. So he obviously kept his money probably in there, and it's like really rusty and old. It's like really creepy, and the fact that like it's hidden and you can like pull apart panels just give me the heebie-jeebies. That's like not that creepy. It's just a little odd. So anyways, that's like the history of my house. Oh, and also this is gonna like kick off why maybe our house is haunted. So a lot of people say, and I think it's like proven, that ghosts can get disturbed, or like things, I don't even know if I don't know. Spirits, ghosts, things can get disturbed if there's like movement in the house, like it gets knocked down, there's construction. And I think in about 1990s, sometime in the 90s, my house got reconstructed. There was an addition. This is going to be important to the story too, so remember this. There was an addition to the back of my house. It's the sitting room, and it was added on in about the 90s, and that's believed that maybe it like disturbed something in my house, because that's what a lot of people say, like ghosts, if they become disturbed, that's when they like start to be active. All right, so that's the history of my house. So you guys have a background of like maybe where this is starting. All right, now I'm like getting really scared. This is actually like a very haunted room, I believe. I'm filming in. Probably not a good idea, but it's like the quietest room in my house. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and start with the dark figure. Since I can remember, since I was very little, I have seen this dark figurine, a very tall, like super tall, just dark figure, like a man or like a normal person, like a stick figure almost. And it's freaking creepy. Like, I've seen this thing walk from this door to the bathroom door, so right to the left, I don't even know my direction, left or right, there's a door right there, over there, and there's like this much space in between the two doors, and then there's a bathroom. And these two rooms, I believe, in the room over the garage are like the most haunted in the house. So I have been laying in my room or just sitting in my room, and I look behind me and I'll just see this dark figure walk back and forth between the bathroom and this room. And this used to be my sister's room. She moved out. Her room was pretty creepy too. But anyways, I'd see this dark figurine just walk back and forth between these rooms, and that literally scared the crap out of me. And I will remember one time in 5th grade, I was laying in my bed, and I just moved my bed so it was right next to the door. Not a good idea. So I moved my bed so I could literally look into the hall and then see like the two doors. And I will never forget, all of a sudden the dark figure just stopped and it was staring right at me. I was laying in bed. I looked to my right. I screamed. Literally so freaking terrifying. You have no idea. I screamed my head off. It was like 12 o'clock at night, and I just see this dark figure just sort of staring in the hall right at me. I'm getting the chills just thinking about this, but I screamed, and the whole rest of the summer I slept in my brother's couch in his room, because that's how frightened I was. And like, okay, so that's like the dark figure. Also, this is very important. My mom is not someone to believe in ghosts. Like, she's not gonna like make this stuff up. She's an adult. She's mature. She's not gonna make stuff up. She likes to not believe that there's ghosts in her house, but she's had experiences herself, like many experiences. So one time she told me she was laying in her bed, and she's had a few stories, so I'll share with you in a second. But One time she was laying in her bed and she saw a dark figure walk across in her bathroom. So her room's right here and she has a door, and she saw the dark figure just walk in the bathroom. And the fact that we didn't even tell each other at the time either that we both seen this dark figure. So the fact that we both could like bring that up and experience the same thing is terrifying. So it's not like one of us was just imagining it. Like, wow. All right, so that's a dark figure. That's like a really important role in this story. Okay, this one's could be explained. I feel like this one maybe is not as scary, but it actually kind of is, because my mom's had a story with this too. But I'll be laying in bed at night and I'll hear footsteps downstairs. I'll hear someone walking. I'll hear like rustling around upstairs. I'll just hear a lot of noises. And a lot of people say like old houses creak. They do that. It could just be house settling noises. And like, I can believe that maybe sometimes it's just house settling noises, but other times I know it's not. I can hear things, and like last night we all thought there was someone downstairs, and I'll tell you that story. But like, I hear footsteps all the time, and sometimes it's not even footsteps. Sometimes it's noises, like someone like tapping something, or someone like knocking, or just like someone like hitting something. Like, I'll just hear noises and they can't be explained. And this is a story that really creeps me out. So my mom told me this, and once again, she did not want to just make this up just to scare me. In fact, she didn't want to tell me because she thought I'd be scared. So my mom was in the basement one day, which is also very haunted, I believe, and I'll tell you more about the basement because that's coming up. But my mom was in the basement and she was doing laundry in our laundry room, and all of a sudden she heard our kitchen door open, which leads to the garage into the house. And that door opening is a very distinctive sound. Like, you're not gonna mistake a door for that. Like, it's a it's a really loud noise. And she heard the door open. Okay, then it closed, and then she heard footsteps walking just around the kitchen, because the kitchen's right above the laundry room. She's not gonna make this up either. It's not like something you just like. If you heard like one noise, it'd be scary, but she literally heard the door open and heard someone walking around our kitchen, so she called up. She thought my dad came home from work or something because she was home alone. Yeah, she was also home alone, so literally it was no one. She calls up and she's like, "Hello, Jeff," my dad. She's like, "Jeff, hello, are you there?" Like, she literally thought my dad had just walked in. She goes upstairs, there's no one there. Like, that is so frightening. You guys have no idea. So that's another story. Alright, so now we just hear noises. My mom says she hears noises too. Pretty sure everyone in my house does. And once again, I could be wrong. It could be house settling. But the fact that that story like connects to it makes me really scared. Alright, this one is also like one of the biggest contributors to this story. Pretty sure that was my brother, but if you guys heard that too, probably my ghost. Okay, so anyways, my dog, Finn, he's not timid, he's just a yellow lab, and every night we will wake up and we will hear him barking. He will ferociously bark, and literally every night at like 12 o'clock or even 3 a.m., which is like the most haunted hour of the night, we'll hear him barking, and it's not like a woof, like he's trying to get his toy or something. It's a ferocious, like someone's there. Like, we always think someone's trying to break in because he's so ferocious. He'll go, roar! I don't know. But like, guys, you don't understand. Like, every night we'll hear it, and my mom will get petrified. She'll look out her window, she'll go downstairs, and Finn will just be barking at the wall or the ceiling. It's literally so scary. He'll just be barking. It's not even like he's barking at the door, which means someone was there. He'd be barking at like the wall in our dining room, and I also have that on video. Maybe I can insert it somewhere, but my dog just barks randomly at a random wall in the dining room, and this is where it gets really scary. So he's always barking, like every night. At least like every night my mom has to go down and check to make sure there's like no one in our house. And we'll hear footsteps too, so that's what he's probably barking at. And you know, dogs can sense things. Like, they have a really good sense of if someone's there, so that's why we think he's barking. So anyways, my mom goes downstairs and she sees that Finn is barking in the sitting room, which, like I told you earlier, was the room that got added on in the 90s. And that is the room that I feel like it was the unsettled room, and there's probably a lot of spirits in there, like being frustrated. That didn't make any sense. But like there are a lot of spirits in that room, and Finn was just barking into the hall that leads to the basement.